Hey guys, usually we'd have an educational video this week. Um, Obviously, there is a lot of civil unrest going on, and I debated over whether or not to talk about this because I'm a nutritionist. I'm a PhD nutritionist. I'm not a politician. I'm not a media outlet. I'm not a pundit on YouTube or anything like that. Um, but I've just What changed my mind was I watched a video on IGTV from David Goggins last night. And I thought it was incredibly balanced and rational. And this was from somebody who, as a black man, endured a lot of racism growing up where he did. And I obviously do not have the experiences of someone like a David Goggins or a minority. I don't have those experiences. But seeing his rationality and his logic and his just sanity made me realize that in this world that is seeming to get more insane by the day, that maybe I could add just a little bit of sanity to this discussion. So, just some background. I grew up in southern Indiana, and I would not consider it a hotbed of racism or anything like that, but I also wouldn't consider it a cultural center of the United States. Fortunately, I had some really great parents who instilled in me from a young age that it was never okay to judge a person based on their appearance. That what mattered was who they were as a person, what they did, how they treated other people, what was in their heart. And that's how I grew up. Now, I grew up as a lower middle class Caucasian white kid. I have never been judged for the color of my skin. I have, however, had the experience of being judged for being different and being bullied for being different. I'm not saying those two things are the same because they're not. But I know how traumatic and awful that experience was, to simply be hated or bullied because of who I was as a person for being different. I can't imagine what it would be like to be hated simply for looking a certain way. I think what we're dealing with is, I don't think there's many rational, educated, worldly human beings who think racism is a good idea. I think that again, I grew up where I was taught that it was wrong. But even if I had not been taught that, I have gone so many places, I have met so many people. If you just have your eyes, your ears, and your heart open, and you meet enough people, here's what I discovered. I have met fucking amazing people who were black, Latino, Asian, you name the group. I have met pieces of shit who were Latino, black, white. I found that the group just didn't matter. That there was good eggs and bad eggs in each. And so just from that experience alone, it's impossible to be a racist if you're actually paying attention, if you're not willfully ignorant. And this is where extremism in our society is killing us as a society. Because we see something that happened to George Floyd. And I watched the video. It was extremely disturbing. I think that police officers not only should be subject to prosecution to the fullest extent of the law, but they should probably be held to a higher standard because of the responsibility they carry. And I watched the video and I understand why people are angry. And I'm not even a black person. I can't imagine what that feels like to watch that. But we have the media and we have politicians who are stoking the flames of hate because it benefits them. Because if you're pissed off, it helps them because you're more likely to watch. So what we have now is we have people who are angry about George Floyd. We're having protests. We're having riots. Now we have people who are angry about the riots. And we get this dehumanizing thing where we can't see the point of view of the other person and we just do this. And we need to fucking do this. And I also feel bad for police officers out there. Because again, it's a group of people. There are some amazing humans who are police officers. There's also pieces of shit who are police officers. But if you are, and I've seen that some officers have been hurt, even killed, being targets because they're police officers. Guys, that may not be racism because of the color of the skin, but you're singling out a group of people and just saying, I don't care who you are as an individual. I don't care what's under here. I just want to hurt you because of the group of people you belong to. Guys, that doesn't help anybody. In fact, it's just making us do this. You are giving the extremists, the racists, the actual racists, what they want. This division. Because I think the number of people, and I could be naive, I could be incredibly naive. I think the number of people who actually hate other people for the color of their skin is pretty small. And I think for you to be a racist, you have to be really fucking stupid, or you haven't met many people, or this is how you were raised, and you're just unwilling to listen to new data in terms of you meet people, just meet people. There are good people in every group of people. It's really fucking disgusting and sad to see us being torn apart by this shit. And so what can we do? This is one of the reasons I really had trouble making this video because I don't know what the answer is. I can tell you what I feel is going to make the difference. And I don't think it's politicians. I don't think it's laws. I'm not saying that we shouldn't, obviously there should be laws against targeting specific groups of people. But laws do not stop shitty humans from being shitty. They don't, unfortunately. You can't legislate out ignorance or hate. So how do you get rid of it? How do we eradicate it? Well, if I'm being honest, we can probably never eradicate it because there's always going to be shit humans. But we can get to the point where anybody who's a racist is just automatically ostracized because it's how could you possibly be this way? You fucking ignorant moron. And how does that happen? Well, you can have celebrities get on their platforms and tell you things. You can have politicians say things. But I think at the end of the day, the most important thing is that it starts with you as the individual. And you saying, this is not okay, and I do not tolerate it. So meaning, you don't hang around with people who are racists. You don't entertain that shit. Your kids, you teach them this is wrong under any circumstance. You don't judge someone because of what they wear. because of the color of their skin, or even because whatever. Pick anything on the surface. You form your opinion based on who they are as a person. And this just seems like such common sense. I wish, like, it's like, why have we gotten to the point where we need people telling us this? This should just be part of what's being a decent human being. So I don't know what the answer is. I know that I can't control other people. All I can do is control myself. So I don't tolerate it. I don't hang around people who are like that. And certainly teach my kids that it's never okay to judge somebody based off the color of their skin or any other surface level, that it's what's in here that matters. As far as what's going on right now, I know a lot of people are angry. Please, let's not judge groups based on the actions of a few, and that goes for all groups, always. Because we are doing this. We are pushing each other further apart, when in reality, most of us have similar ethics. Most of us believe that racism is a bad fucking thing. Most of us believe that. I believe that. But we're getting further apart, and we need to do this. So I realize that within that square, or within that range, there's a lot of nuanced opinions. Can we please stop dehumanizing each other? Just because somebody is upset and outraged at what happened to George Floyd, as well as other black victims of police brutality, does not mean that they condone violence against police or the violent looting and rioting. And just because somebody condemns violence by looters and rioters also does not mean that they don't care about police brutality. Can we please be more nuanced and stop fucking dehumanizing each other? Because it just does this, and we fucking need this. The politicians are going to use this, whatever side they may be on, to try to further their own agendas. The media only cares if you watch. Please, let's keep it rational. But when it comes to racism, fuck racism. And fuck bigotry, and fuck judgment of an entire group based on the actions of a few. It's never okay. So, that's all I've got to say. I don't think there's anything groundbreaking in there. I don't think I'm saying anything that most people don't already know. But I'm just hoping that I can add something sane and rational to what seems to be an irrational world.